I walk through the shadow of death left to fear. This is a journey through the halls of hell.
Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Game of Thrones series. This is episode 2 of season 3 and it is called Dark Wings, Dark Words. Last episode. I loved all the individual scenes we got between characters last episode, from Robb and his mum when they arrived at Harrenhal, to Ros and Shae while Littlefinger was talking to Sansa, and Cersei and Tyrion as well. But yeah, there was a lot of conversations between individuals last episode, again just setting up the plots for season 3, so I can't wait to get into this week's. So this is episode 2, Dark Wings, Dark Words. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. Why is Bran always hunting in his dreams? What is his beef with wildlife? Especially, you know, a raven with 3 eyes, that shit's rare. That is about how good he shot in real life. Maybe he's not dreaming.
You can't kill it, you know.
Why not?
Because the raven is you.
Creepy entrance by the forest dwelling kid there. I forget his name and the fact that Bran first sees him in a dream.
It's a 3-eyed raven. He's back.
Sharpening intensifies.
I didn't ask for black magic dreams.
I know you didn't, little lord.
I mean, he might have done. Sounds like something a kid would have done 100%. I would have wished for black magic dreams if I'd have thought they'd actually have given me black magic dreams.
My mother always told me you Westerosi were a grim lot.
I mean, not all of them, but it sums up quite a lot of guys from King's Landing.
Pardon me, your grace. My queen.
Lord Bolton.
Yeah, she is actually technically a queen now. I mean, Robb doesn't have the Iron Throne, but he's fighting for it, so is she technically Queen of the North then?
By the time Bolton's bastard got to Winterfell, the Ironborn were gone.
That is 100% not true, because as the Ironborn were leaving, there was already a hornblower outside the castle walls, so explain that plot hole. Oh my god. I better get my last bit of hating Theon in before I start to feel irreversibly sorry for him.
How did you come into Lady Stark's service? That's something we could talk about.
Not your concern, Kingslayer.
It had to be recently.
I think that would have earned Brienne a bit of respect if she'd have told Jaime the truth there. She beat the Flowers Knight in a duel. That's super impressive. He's got to be quite well known throughout the kingdom as a good swordsman. The Flowers Knight beat the fucking mountain in a joust.
He would have been a wonderful king.
Sounds like you quite fancy it.
I did not fancy him.
God, you did.
It's actually a bit of a heartbreaking story they don't delve too deeply into, but the fact that Renly was gay and Brienne always loved him must have been really heartbreaking for Brienne, obviously.
Don't blame him. No, don't blame you either. Don't get the juice who we love.
Yeah, Jaime's just roasting you. I wouldn't take any of it too seriously. He ain't judging anyone for their sexual appetites deep down.
He knows who I am.
He doesn't.
Maybe you're right, what if you're not?
Jaime makes a really good point here. If I was Brienne, look, I understand, she's not about to kill a civilian. I wouldn't either. But I'd just approach him and be like, look, sorry man, I'm on kind of a top secret mission and you just so happen to see it. I'm gonna have to either bring you along with me on the mission or tie you up to halt you potentially telling someone.
I said no flowers.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to overdo it. He's already got them on his underwear.
Known degenerate like Renly Baratheon for a
She
reason.
married Renly Baratheon because she was told to. That's what intelligent women do.
This is Cersei's Hail Mary attempt to try and talk him out of this Marjorie shit before he gets too manipulated, but she is good. She's already got Joffrey telling his own mum to shut up on her behalf.
Takes an interest because he loved my mother. Men only want one thing from a pretty girl.
That's actually not true, Shae. In Littlefinger's case, he wants multiple things. Not only does he probably want just to fuck Sansa, but he also realises that she is the key to the Northern Kingdom.
If he does ask you for anything or touch you, I want you to tell me.
You know, when watching back Shae throughout season 2 and here, it almost seems out of character what she does in the courtroom later. And I don't mean that in the way that, oh, she was in a bad mood that day. I mean, even after she was scorned by the loss of a lover, would someone with this moral compass do that? And I don't see them doing it.
You
take it. You're such a dear.
How frustrating is that though? Even when getting escorted by Sir Loras, there's 2 Lannister guards shadowing Sansa at all moments.
The Lady Olenna of House Tyrell.
Kiss me, child.
Lady Olenna is a fucking amazing character. I'm so happy she has just entered my life again.
That does not make him wise. As to your fathead father.
Grandmother,
Oh, she's the best. I say Marjorie's the best. Her grandmother is actually the best. But you know, when it comes to selecting sexual partners, I'll stick with Marjorie.
Shall we have some lemon cakes?
Lemon cake's my favourite.
So we've been told.
This one scene already tells you you've just got an absolutely ferocious new piece added to the chessboard, because not only is she cunning and witty and willing to talk very frankly about whoever she wants, she also shows that she showed foresight in Sansa coming by having her favourite dessert prepared just for this conversation. She's one of the smartest characters in this entire show.
Has he ripped out your tongue?
King Joffrey, his grace is...
And they are 2 of the only people that will instantly see through this as just fear.
The cheese will be served when I want it served, and I want it served now.
That extra's reaction expression deserves a shout out. It was the perfect response reaction.
He promised he would be merciful and he cut my father's head off. And he said that was mercy.
Oh, he's a fucking asshole. Even her saying that is so infuriating. What a little dick.
My father was a traitor. My brother as well. I have traitor's blood.
It's so fucking horrible to hear her talking like that.
He's a monster.
Oh. That's a pity.
I genuinely think in that one moment, Lady Olenna in her head thought, oh, I'm gonna have to kill him, that's a shame. I genuinely think she was that decisive about it.
I think you lost this war the day you married her.
Holy shit, how on point was that comment? That comment is such a forgotten comment by most people, I feel, who watch this show. That dude was 100% accurate.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. You can't help, because a mother makes one for her children to protect them.
The depth of the lore in this show is insane, you know. That's one small component of one of the religions, and it shows the traditions within that religion in small ways. Again, other people would just not think of these little details to write in.
So I pray to the gods. Take him away. Make him die.
Oh my god, Catelyn. I know this conversation leads to a small redemption arc of how you view Jon, but in general, you still treated him like shit every day.
I'd condemned this poor, innocent child to a horrible death, all because I was jealous of his mother.
See, how could you have that realisation when he was still an infant, yet to his last days in Winterfell when he was there just to say goodbye to Bran, you were being so cold to him? You might as well have condemned him to death because you gave him a life where you seemingly treated him like you wished he was dead anyway.
Everything that's happened since then, all because I couldn't love a motherless child.
Well, okay, that is a bit brutal to impose that on yourself. Now, I was going to say that conversation is not going to redeem Catelyn, but just the fact that she genuinely thinks that and holds that weight on her head kind of sort of redeemed it a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it worked. You still treated Jon like shit, but at least you blame that for everything else wrongly.
Do you know what it takes to unite 90 clans, half of whom want to massacre the other half for one insult or another?
You're talking to a Scotsman, mate. I'll tell you what it takes. A common enemy.
The Hotfoots hate the Ice River clans. Everyone hates the cave people.
Those poor cave-dwelling bastards. They already have to live in caves, and they're the most hated.
I told them we were all going to die if we don't get south. Because that's the truth.
There wasn't any great wisdom from that conversation, you know. He said to Jon, you know what it takes to unite 90 clans, like he was about to say, you know, I've got great leadership qualities and skills that you couldn't even imagine, but he was just like, no, I told the truth, and everyone shat themselves.
He could enter the mind of animals, see through their eyes. He scouted for us.
But you've never met a warg?
Seriously, how did 0 maesters in human history have a recorded account of anybody warging? So the maester in Winterfell didn't have more knowledge about the mystic arts or whatever he worded it as. Someone must have seen one of these motherfuckers before and lived, if Jon Snow has.
When the White Walkers came, you left me.
Aye, we left you.
You said that through miraculously whitened teeth, Sam?
Tarly, I forbid you to die.
I would respect my commanding officer if I got a command like that. I'd be like, alright, I'll try my fucking best to fulfill your order, mate. It would definitely motivate me. Because then not only if you died would you be dying, but you'd also be failing your mission.
I'm not down for you, piggy. You hear me?
Now granted, Sam could stand to lose a few pounds, but who the fuck is that little rotunda gnome calling Piggy?
Where's Rion and Hodor? Looking for food.
I don't think there's a single scene where we see Osa not in a constant state of paranoid, prepared awareness, which is literally the reason why she has survived up to this point, so you can't hate. It just must be a bit of a stressful way to live your life. Here he comes, creepy woodland dream boy. And that only raises further questions. Was he able to in some way communicate to the direwolf he wasn't a threat? Or does he have the power to pacify animals?
We've come a long way to find you, Brandon. And we have much farther to go.
This guy's killing this role. He's got the look of an actor from the UK who was maybe third in the casting for Harry Potter but didn't quite get there, so now that he's got his Game of Thrones role, he's fucking making sure he makes the most of this, while hating Daniel Radcliffe, little glasses wearing shit. The only reason he got that role over me is because he's legally blind. Don't know why I've built this entire fake backstory for this woodland archer character, but I think I'm going to run with it from here on out. He hates Daniel Radcliffe.
Mitchell's got gold sometimes. We could jump him, tie him up, steal his gold and buy some food.
Yeah, I think you're better when you're talking about recipes rather than strategic battle planning to attack the Brotherhood without banners.
What's lurking behind that wall?
At least they gave them a warning shot.
Leave us be, and I won't kill you.
You're a dangerous person.
I know he was saying that sarcastically, but I also feel like he was giving her a little bit of respect there. Also, for those of you that don't know, the actor playing the Mad Monk character here was famous in the UK as a character called Dennis Pennis, who was famous for approaching celebrities on red carpets and doing like fake interviews. You know, he's of that tradition of Ali G and other people who assume characters to do interviews to lampoon the people that they're interviewing kind of thing. So yeah, if you ever want to see his early work, check out Dennis Pennis, spelt how it sounds.
I want to hear how two boys and a very dangerous girl escaped Harrenhal.
It's a good story. It involves assassins and all sorts of mad shit.
We'll talk some more over brown bread and stew, and then you can go on your way.
The one thing I'm unsure about with the Brotherhood without banners is, are they just sort of like, you know, Robin Hood and his merry men? Do they just sort of wander about with no base? Because they don't seem to have a base nor other pockets of Brotherhood without banner members in different places. So are these guys just sort of the placeholder for a Robin Hood and his merry men type?
Half the country's starving, and look at this one. Maybe it's the reason half the country's starving.
Obviously they don't rob from the rich and give to the poor, that would be too on the nose. But what George R.R. Martin likes to do is take two separate components and combine them so they're original again. So it's like he's took the Robin Hood and his merry men element but then combined that with a religious element to make it fresh again.
I'm worried about Sansa when she spoke with Lord Baelish.
Don't know how I felt about these scenes when I first watched it, but now every time she kisses him I'm like, fuck off.
Since I met you, my lady, I've been with no one else.
He is actually telling the truth there. He gets such a reputation as a womanizer, Tyrion, but when you retroactively analyse those first two seasons, he didn't even really do too much womanizing during those. Maybe the first couple episodes.
Sansa will have many suitors. A great beauty with a very old name.
That's such horrible pressure to have. I know in Sansa's childish head she wanted to be the princess or the queen or whatever, but I feel like everything she's gone through now, she just wants to go home. And even when she does, she'll have that her whole life because she's a Stark. There'll be dudes just piling up, all sorts of pieces of shit and assholes alike, piling up and annoying her. Oh, fuck off, biting the lip and everything. Alright then, one blowjob, but I'm not talking to you while you do it. Well, I'll talk to you a little bit. Okay, I forgive what you did to Tyrion, you can stay.
Lady Tyrell, my king.
Send her in.
Fucking crossbow in hand at all times this season. This guy is a fucking weirdo.
I'm leaving on a hunting trip. I just wanted to make sure you had everything you need before I left.
What a gentleman, sounds like a stand-up guy.
Quite a change after Renly's camp.
A welcome one.
I love how they set up this scene, because it shows he's trying to divert the conversation to something which might potentially anger him, and he's holding the crossbow. So this scene just fully illustrates how great she is at manipulation, because she takes that, with him being a volatile creature already, and his mother having been in his ear, and he's armed, and she shows that she can finesse even that situation, and end up playing into his sadistic side, and pandering to that to get her back on his side. She is an absolute genius.
He had so many excuses, so many late-night war councils. He never wanted to try.
Even this is clever. She's deviated into a long story to allow him time to calm down and take him away from his previous subject matter. This scene is written fucking brilliantly.
Fault was with me, maybe.
No, he was a known degenerate.
See, look, even that is starting to win him back over.
You must do whatever you need to do. You are the king.
Yes.
Now playing to the ego. He seems almost shocked by how well she's handled this situation. His little evil brain doesn't know what to do.
It's a new design. Much easier to load. There's no crank. You use this lever.
Imagine if you'd have showed Joffrey a handgun, he would have lost his mind. Yo, I know he's evil and everything, but that was like a 1 in a million shot. Gotta give him his credit. He makes Turkish Olympic pistol guy look shit.
Do you want to hold it?
May I? Please.
Look, this is exciting and more even than the potential of hurting her. You know, finally having someone on his side. It must be like the rare occasion when you get a serial killer couple. You know, imagine how fucked it is one person being a serial killer, let alone meeting the woman of his dreams, and she's also down to serial kill. They would both be like, oh, this is amazing. And I feel like that's exactly what Joffrey is wrongly going through right now. And that's all retroactively, because the first time I saw that scene, I was like, oh fuck, is Marjorie gonna turn to the dark side and start torturing things with Joffrey?
I took it on my own.
Why?
To take the North while it was vulnerable.
What were you gonna do once you took it?
Hold it, rule it.
It shows how bad this torture is, because that is already 100% the truth, and they have not even begun tearing him to pieces yet.
I hated the Starks. I hated them for holding me prisoner. I wanted to hurt them.
It's a shame he hasn't come to the realisation he wasn't a prisoner of the Starks, even while under these circumstances. Look, I know technically he was a prisoner, but you could never use that term considering how he was treated.
Please, just take me to her.
What a twisted fuck. Imagine the setup involved in what Ramsay has done here. It's like, look, you guys go in, torture him. I'm going to pretend I'm just a floor sweep, and then I'll pretend I'm going to set him free and shit. And then we'll catch him and torture him more. The level of planning involved in this is fucking sadistic.
No, please don't leave me. Please don't go.
And I thought he freed him there. He literally like sets up this bullshit over multiple scenes. He's like, you know, I'll free you later while everyone's asleep and shit. Like, how do you even sit and think, you know what, and next I'll go in and tell him I'm going to free him, but then we'll leave a little 6-hour gap so he has to think about the fact he's going to get freed for that 6 hours, and then I'll come back, then we free him, then recapture him. So he'll be sleep deprived at that point as well.
Until you learn to control it.
Like your anger for Daniel Radcliffe?
Seeing things that haven't happened yet.
Things that happened long before you were born, or things that are happening right now, thousands of miles away.
You know the three-eyed raven, the actual three-eyed raven, and when Bran becomes the three-eyed raven? I'll be honest with you guys, I don't fully comprehend or understand it. You know, I've got to a certain level of understanding and been like, if I overthink this, I'm gonna fuck my own mind, so I'll just leave it there. But you know, from what I can grasp, he's capable of seeing all past, present, and future events. It shows that he has to choose a past event to go into, so I'm assuming that means that he can't omnipresently see all past and future events, and he has to essentially hone into an area to see either or. See what I mean? This is the sort of questions I asked myself the first time I watched this show, and it just fried my brain. If anybody could simplify that in the comments, I would love it.
The only one thing that matters. You.
It's incredible writing though to know the finish line of season 8, you know, in season 3, and him understanding Bran's importance this early on in the show.
How did 3 young persons such as yourselves, untrained in the art of war, escape from Harrenhal?
Actually, Arya is slightly trained in the art of water dancing. She didn't get much training, but is probably good enough to kill anybody who isn't trained in sword fighting, which is what the average person needs. It's like with self-defense. You don't need to get good enough at boxing that you could become world champion. Just knowing a bit of boxing makes you advantageous over 90% of people in the world who do not practice a martial art. That was a cool little spin stance he did there. And it shows that Arya has a lot of learning to do. As I said earlier, she did a little bit of water dance training, but it wasn't good enough to make her what she becomes, obviously. I attribute all of that to the Faceless Men. Oh, is this the start of Arya and the Hound? This is the best shit in the entire show. I completely agree with everyone now. Season 3 is the best. Fuck season 8.
Thoros, the fuck you doing here?
Thoros has really specific curved scars in multiple places in his forehead. Not to sound all Dark Knight-ish on you, but I wonder how he got those scars.
Take the bridge and risk being seen across the Great Water.
Silence, Kingslayer.
Jaime has played mental warfare with Brienne this entire journey. I love it. Even when his hands are tied, he is on full offense.
Oh, I need to rest.
Get up.
Have these on your feet when you walk too far. What do you call it?
Oh, he's such a dickhead. This is so counterproductive. If a large garrison of Stark soldiers came right now, they would just cut his head off.
Why some knights felt the need to carry 2 swords?
So that you guys could have a badass fight in the middle of a bridge?
Move well.
I don't know. Even if he wasn't in shackles, I wouldn't put all my money on Jaime in this fight. But I guess he is showing how much of a master swordsman he is, that he's able to even, you know, give Brienne a good fight while in shackles and still depart sort of sensei-like advice to her.
See? If you were willing to hurt me, you might have had me there.
I wonder if Jaime is truly trying his hardest in this fight. Do you think deep down he has it in him at this point to kill Brienne? Because he doesn't know her that well yet. That was some badass one-handed swordplay by Brienne there as she walked forward confidently. Ah dear, and this is basically exactly what I was worried about happening.
If you can call that a woman. Oh, we enjoy a good fight. Gets our juices flowing.
And I remember this guy. He's such a prick, I remember his name. It's Locke, isn't it?
That's him all right. I saw him fight at the tourney for Sir Willem Frey's wedding.
I mean, it's probably not the right time to say I told you so, but Jaime had every right to there. Locke is equally kind of as big of a dickhead Bolton as Ramsay is watching this show back. We just don't see that much of him, but I bet if we spent more time with Locke, he would show himself to be just as horrible as Ramsay Bolton. All these Boltons are fucking horrible. You know how I said there's good and bad people on every side of every war? We do not see a good person on the side of the Boltons or the Freys ever. Maybe the poor woman of the Frey family, in fact. Okay, and that was episode 2 of season 3 of Game of Thrones, Dark Wings, Dark dark words, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Dark Wings, Dark Words, what did I think of that? You know what I want to say first of all, actually? It's such a throwaway little line of dialogue, but you know when Lord Karstark said to Robb, I think you lost this war the day you married her. I cannot believe he actually said those words to him, and in my multiple watches of this show before, it either fell out of my head that he said that, or it must have went past me or something, because yeah, that is so prophetic watching this show back now. And Lady Olenna has entered the show. I think she's one of the most beloved characters across the fan base. I don't think anybody really has an issue with her character, and the Game of Thrones fan base is incredibly decisive here and there. So the fact that she's universally loved just shows how well she's written. She's written to be so cutting, witty, sharp, but the reason why she gets away with being so brutal and cutting is because she's fighting on the side of good, and deep down she's a good person, and she's not gonna let some evil Lannisters control her daughter. So I absolutely love her character. And Marjorie herself just showed how resourceful she was this episode. Cersei tried her hardest to have a private conversation with Joffrey and make him aware of the manipulation that Marjorie's trying to employ. Joffrey was already having none of it and told her to shut up, basically. And then later on we got the scene with him and the crossbow, and the scene was kind of a bait and switch for the first time you watch it. There's actually several layers to that scene, but at first you think, oh no, she's in trouble, because we're already programmed to know that Joffrey's a sadistic little shit and he's got a new toy, and we know that sadistic little shits like trying out their new toys. So when she entered that room we thought, oh, this might be bad, but she instantly diffused his talk of Renly and victimised herself through a small story that made him sympathetic towards her, and then pandered to his sadistic side by showing a fake fascination in his crossbow, asking him if he'd like to see her kill things with it and shit. And like I said, there is multiple layers to that scene, because retroactively it's just brilliant manipulation by Marjorie, but the first time you watch it you're like, oh fuck, is she actually turning a bit dark side? Is she gonna start being evil with Joffrey? So I'm so thankful that that was not the case. And this Brienne and Jaime shit, it does make Jaime a bit endearing to me. It's probably again because I'm rewatching it. I couldn't tell you exactly if I was just like, oh shut the fuck up Jaime every time he spoke when I first watched this, but watching it back now, as someone who likes breaking balls and roasting things myself, I think it's hilarious that he has just been in full roast mode toward Brienne for the entirety of this fucking journey, and then just sitting down in the middle of the bridge trolling her for her decision to take a public pathway instead of keeping it low key. And I guess, you know, credit where credit's due, if Jaime can hang with Brienne while in shackles, he probably would be able to kill her if she was not shackled, and that shows that Jaime, while he is an absolute dick and you don't want to give him this credit, probably is at this point one of the best swordsmen in the entirety of Westeros. But yeah, all that dicking around led to the Boltons, led by Locke, to catch up to them, and now they're both captured. So yeah, I hope Jaime's happy with himself. He's not going to be next episode, because I believe that it is when he is in the captivity of these guys that he gets his hand lopped off. So that's either this or next episode. He is forever no longer one of the best swordsmen in the world. So enjoy your confidence while it lasts, Jaime. It's going to be a rough next couple of seasons for you from here on out. But yeah, I absolutely loved this episode and cannot wait to see what happens next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.